Okay, hey, we're going to go to another episode of On Point EDC. Today we have a cool review for you from the brand Real Steel. They were founded back in 2013 and their knives are made in China. Now their market segment is really presenting high value knives everywhere from entry level to high end offerings. Now this particular type of knife I'd consider an EDC folding utility knife. Some key common characteristics and design language when you're looking for something that you're going to carry as part of your EDC. Of course, you're going to want that pocketable size as well as a very versatile blade, which I think this knife has. This is your Metamorph compact gray. You can get these from Indiana Knives as well as Knife Center. They're right around 60 bucks, actually a little bit less than that. I think something like 55 to 59. They are an Ostapel design, liner lock front flipper layout, and they're basically a downsized and down-spec'd variation of the popular full-size G5 Metamorph Mark II folder. Plus, they've actually done various refinements and updates. So honestly, if they did kind of an up-spec'd version of this, I would absolutely adore it. But honestly, the down-spec model isn't using a bunch of useless crap. You actually get some really good stuff here. You're getting Japanese VG10 stainless steel, as well as an aluminum milled handle that is also coated gray, which is nice. So, with that said, let's go ahead, zoom the camera out, get this piece in hand, and take a closer look. All right, now before I pick this up, quick customary wristwatch check here, guys. We do have the Seiko JDM Mini Turtle I just reviewed. Definitely check out the channel if you're interested in seeing more on this. But so you know, that's what will be flopping around on my wrist while I review this fun little knife. Now, it has to be said here, guys, the action and the flipper geometry for me on this are what really sold me. I mean, obviously, I think for a $60 knife, you're getting decent specs. You're getting, you know, Japanese VG10 stainless steel, which not too long ago, you know, 10, 15 years ago, this was a very desirable steel. And honestly, even today, people are still buying expensive knives with VG10. It's just, it is what it is. But when you look at the contouring and the texturing done on this milled aluminum handle, it's impressive, guys. You also do have a great, clean, you know, nice little, even they did the inner mounting there on the pocket clip, deep carry. So that's very nice, very sleek and svelte. So it definitely gives it some more of those kind of gentleman carry vibes, which is great. And yeah, but the geometry on this flipper, it's like the first flipper I've been very easily be able to flip it like that, just from here. And it's because of that soft contour they have right there. And then very nice broken edges, so this isn't super sharp, but the jimping is absolutely effective. I think it's right, it's about perfect in terms of you want it to be sharp enough to add some purchase for your grip there, but you also don't want it so sharp that it's going to, you know, saw your fingers down. Now, the nice thing is you do have a lot of options in terms, even though it is a front flipper, you can flip it this way, you can flip it this way, you can do some type of this way, you can do a slow roll if you really want to. So you got a lot of options. So very nice. And I got to say the fidget factor on here is absolutely outstanding. And the action's very smooth, as you can see here. We'll go ahead and drop. So really nice. One thing I will say, as perfect as the jimping is on the blade and on the flipper, there's also a little bit of jimping here, which is just a touch sharper. Some of you won't like that. I'm fine with it because of the way the cutout is. It's not super deep. So you do need, of course, to be able to get some purchase with your finger when you're accessing the lock bar, and that's going to hold it, but it is a little bit sharp in comparison to the rest of the jimping. So I would probably soften that up, and some people might even want it removed. I don't mind it though, as is. So if I'm gonna nitpick, I'm gonna nitpick. We do get this great drop point blade, flat grind on it, very versatile, of course. in terms of the blade shape there. Really fine for EDC tasks. You're not getting tons and tons of belly on the blade, but this thing can definitely slice, which is great. Has a really amazing size. You're getting, roughly 7 inches long, roughly 3-inch blade, roughly 4-inch silhouette in terms of the handle while closed, and then the thing only weighs in at 2.36 ounces, so you're getting something that can absolutely disappear in your pocket, and for a lot of reasons. It's light, it's very slim and unobtrusive, as well as the fact that it has a deep carry pocket clip and is generally pretty lightweight. This is a true liner lock. This isn't an inset lock, so they do have full steel liners on the inside, which for me is not absolutely necessary. It's a little overkill because you already have an aluminum handle, so those scales are just over. For me, that's a little over engineered. They could have saved some weight if they would have just let the scales be full aluminum and then that be pocketed for some weight savings. That'd be great. And then even the lock here, let's say instead of a full liner lock where the steel comes all the way down, it would have been nice for them to maybe do an inset lock setup where maybe it's just up to here, from like here on down to about there. Could have just been basically the lock bar screwed in and attached, and you wouldn't need that, and it would have been even lighter. But honestly, this is not a heavy knife by any means, but just some thoughts for how this could be better, but it's honestly really great as is. Now, in terms of ergonomics, guys, in hand, man, this thing's nice. It locks up. You get that great purchase in the jimping there. Some nice grasps there. You can even hit it with some kind of EDC type cuts, which you can see if you need. It's nice. For me, I'm not getting any hot spots. Of course, pocket clips will vary for different hands in terms of hot spots there, but I don't mind this one at all. It's definitely pretty well contoured all along the handle scales, as well as just a general kind of curvature here and roundness that I can really appreciate. Now, the action, guys, as you can see, very smooth, very fast, great flipper geometry, pretty much the most versatile flipper layout that's ever, at least for my hands. And everybody's hands are going to be different. But for me, with, kind of my medium-sized hands, yeah, man, these work for me. I didn't have to practice any weird way. And I definitely have had plenty of front flippers where there's one way to flip them, or they just won't. They'll misfire. Here, there's so many different ways. You don't have to be super deliberate about it. And then even if you misfire because of the contouring and the jimping, boom. Like, so let's say I mess this up and I just, and it doesn't go all the way. I can just... And you can see it actually was hard for me to make it misfire, but you can even slow roll it if you want. And again, it's because of the jimping. So that's nice. I can appreciate that. In the pocket, guys, obviously lays pretty flat, as you can see here from the silhouette. Very unobtrusive because it's how slim it is, and then because of the position of the flipper tab, you don't have to worry about that really getting in the way or poking anything, because it's going to be at the extreme end, which is nice. In terms of model variations, there's also a limited edition model that's exclusive to Indiana Knives, and it has M390 and micarta handles, and that thing's like $145. This is much less. It is only slightly lesser of a knife, and I'd say mostly because of just the blade steel choice. M390 is great. It's my favorite steel, but VG10 is probably my favorite cheap steel. And honestly, anything below VG10, I'm probably not going to be too interested in. I'd say VG10 is very comparable to like Bowler N690 or Crucible CPM 154 or... I didn't 154. Who you guys know what I mean. You guys know what steel that is. Don't somebody correct me. internet police. So yeah, it's definitely very nice. Not too many model variants, but there are a lot of model variations for the Metamorph in general, from Real Steel. So most of them are much bigger than this. For me, this is a really nice size, although the longer models, since they are still quite slim, will probably still fit a lot of people's carry needs. For me, this is short enough to where it doesn't appear too stabby for people that aren't into knives, and nobody should get scared if you have to flip this thing out, you know, and cut a balloon string at a kid's birthday party. That's kind of my test on if something is good for an EDC carry, is if it's scary, too scary to cut some balloon strings with, you might not want to carry it, just because. So with that said, guys, bottom line here, great balance of form and function, and really a fully modern and super affordable package. I mean, well under $100, guys, under $60 for the most part. So yeah, this thing's pretty nice. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you like the video, please do hit like, and if you haven't already, please do subscribe for more content just like this. Thanks, guys.